Hello there, this is the guy that loves some crayons Sinchan, and welcome to this AFK journey video. So earlier we did a 1-copy polling for Cyran, and we did testing for him on the AFK stages as well as the Dream Realm side. So I'll say AFK stages, pretty okay, combos really well with some existing teams, so definitely usable to a certain extent and definitely a pretty good unit there. But how good, we'll wait until our global server release before we can test it out on our own account with a more complete roster. Now for the PvP side, initially I wanted to do a 1-copy Cyran testing, but I realized that Cyran as a unit is a lot more impressive with the EX weapon. So luckily for me, we do have a few players that already gotten Cyran to Supreme Plus and did feel Cyran here in the PvP side. So in today's video, we're going to run through a few battles in the arena side and talk about Cyran's mechanics, specifically the Mystic Collection mechanics right here. So if you were to take a look at this ability right here, he mimics Merlin's impressive spells and casts them in the following sequence: Enlightening, Confining, followed by Star Shard spell. So this is an immediate cast at the start of battle in this order, once per battle. And if Merlin is present on the enemy side, Merlin is silenced for 8 seconds when a battle starts, preventing Merlin from casting any skills. Any skills Merlin will have cast when the battle starts are triggered after silences ends, and then at this point he'll lose some HP to sort of make up for that powerful ability to control your enemy's Merlin. So without further ado, let's run through this very first replay where I ran the Confining spell against Ong's Confining spell over here, okay? Or rather, Ong's Siren together with Confining spell combo. So let's go into replay. Okay, so at the start of battle, you can see my units as well as Merlin getting silenced almost immediately. So this Cyran's EX weapon is going to be quite a powerful tool against the likes of Enlightening spell. Like I mentioned earlier, I think this is the ultimate diagonal counter, because at the start of battle, you silence the ability of Enlightening immediately, as well as silence the rearmost unit, which is usually the core unit with Enlightening spell. So what I can see Cyran do to the meta is to prevent the use of backline buffing single target artifacts. And that is actually really impressive, because it might actually shut down a few team archetypes with him. So that is quite scary to think about it. And on top of that, he fits into a lot of good existing archetypes like your magical Tarsi Bony team, your Iron teams itself. So very scary stuff. And I also tested him out with a few other team combinations as well as different mechanics. So let's start this battle. This is with Ludovic at the back line with me using Confining spell. So right here at the start of battle, we get silenced and we can see our Confining spell not charging up. Okay, but one interesting mechanics is, even though my Bonnie got silenced at the start of battle or got confined, I think she was able to throw out her Decay's Reach because Cyran's ability casts the 3 Merlin skill in order, right? So the first one is Enlightening to buff himself, followed by the Confining. So during this gap where he was casting his skills itself, our Bonnie did manage to throw out the Decay's Reach right at the start of battle right here. So she did throw out the Decay's Reach, she got silenced here, but we debuffed the opponent's Bonnie, as you guys can see. So this means that for the Cyran ability, in terms of the Mystic Collection side, what happens is for the Merlin, it's an insta silence, right, to prevent the usage of the skills. And for the Confining part, we have a short gap before the Confining comes in, because he will cast the Enlightening first to make himself unaffected and increase his haste, followed by casting the other 2 skills in order. So that's how the Mystic Collection work. And a few other things I tested was whether or not the change in stats from the weapon itself, from the artifact itself, actually comes in effect even though it's silenced. So right here we are fighting the same guy but with a different set of artifact. So first of all, we use Awakening over here, and then in this part we use the exact same team but we use Enlightening. So Enlightening is a lot less effective defensively because of the lack of stats. It's a very hyper offensive one, so we'll showcase how good this artifact is against Enlightening spell and then compare the difference between this team with Enlightening spell versus the healing artifact or the base artifact with a lot more defensive stats, Awakening spell right here. Okay, so first one, let's run through this one. Okay, so at the start of battle, you can see Bony being confined, and our Merlin being confined prevents Enlightening spell from coming into play. And then Enlightening spell only comes in 8 seconds after the battle because of Siren's ability, which lasts for 8 seconds on Merlin. So this is the reason why I say Dino team is in trouble, because like usually you will be putting your Dino all the way at the back, and then you will have Merlin with the Enlightening spell. So that's a major shutdown. So this battle lasted, I was talking too much. I did actually take note of the timing that like it took for us to finish the fight. So let's go at 3 times. Okay, blah blah blah, pop pop. Okay, so this battle took about 70 seconds, right, for us to die to the enemy. So let's go into this one where we were using the defensive artifact, Awakening spell. So from the looks of it, I think the stats of the artifact is still in play. The only thing is the ability part of the artifact, which is what the silence does. So it doesn't prevent the massive stat stacking that the artifact has to offer, but it prevents the really powerful abilities of the artifact. So what this means is, if you want to fight against Siren, one way you can do it is to run your own Siren to silence the opponent's artifact to prevent their very powerful artifact skills from coming into play. Or you can play a more stat-centric artifact to sort of survive long enough for that artifact's like store nature to come in. So that could be one way to play against Siren. But these are the few observations. So you can see with that healing artifact coming in later on, as well as the massive defensive stats, we are able to survive past that 70+ second mark. So I think the stats do still come into play even with Siren's silence, and that's pretty impressive. So this is with regards to this skill over here. So you can see Siren's AoE ultimate just pulling me. So we lasted so long that Siren was able to cast the ultimate right here. Yeah, so in the previous few fight, we didn't manage to see Siren's ultimate because my Lilymane basically cancelled the Siren's ultimate, which is the first few to come online due to the 400 initial energy as well as the initial energy increase from the enhanced force. So let's take a look at the damage output of Siren. So this is Siren if he's able to cast his skills as well as the ultimate. Quite impressive damage when combined with our dear Bony over here. So this is the damage output potential, pretty good AoE damage dealer, and really good off that Mystic Collection ability of the EX weapon on the PvP side. So I think Siren is gonna sort of change out the meta of PvP a little bit in terms of what units you can feel against him on the defense, because like I mentioned earlier, he's damn good against Enlightening, very good against active buffing skills, cause like it slows down the active buffing, and like it is especially good against backline buffing type of skills, and that's why this is going to be meta changing. Yeah, it's going to change out the type of defense that's good, and I honestly think Dino is pretty yeah, Dino's going to be quite bad after this one if you have a Siren to just lock Dino in place. So that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you very much for tuning in. Just a simple run through of Siren's PvP prowess. Thank you very much for polling for Siren so that I can test for his mechanics. But with regards to Siren's performance, pretty impressive. And with regards to this skill over here, yeah, needs more testing, but looks to be able to change the meta just by the looks of it right now. So I'll see you guys again in my next Siren testing video. Bye guys.